Hey Tim, how we going? It's Kaz here from the trenches with Kaz, and let me see some thumbs up. Are we on or aren't we? There's some weirdness happening in the background that I don't understand. G'day, Ked Nelly. How are you, buddy? Dwayne Duffy, how you doing? I can see you there, but it's saying we've got 0 viewers. I'm not sure what's happening. Subscriber only mode. What do we got? Over here. So gravy, you're saying it's all good, eh? You can actually hear. Because it's coming up absolutely no viewers. Well, mate, welcome tonight, team. We've got an interesting video on tonight, and we've got an introduction, etc. lined up. And it's about the 10 questions that you need to ask yourself before you actually go into joining the military. To ask yourself, are you ready? Are you good to go? G'day, team. How we going? Duffy, we've got the Tassie Devil there. We've got Samuel, what a lovely name. Jennifer G from up north. Okay, we've got going good. Thanks, Kaz. Good to see. Gravy. It does sound like Navy sex. Gravy. The Tassie Devil, loud and clear. Awesome. I was about to turn it off. I had no idea what was going on. Let's go into a quick video to let you know what tonight is about, and we'll get into it. Team, we've got an interesting stream tonight. This is about 10 questions that you can ask yourself. But before we do, I'd like to ask you a question. How old are you? Are you too young? Are you too old? Do you know the difference? Tonight, when we ask these questions, remember, the battlefield, the environment will ask all the necessary questions of you, and understand that we travel at the speed of our fattest, of our slowest. And if that is below the speed of the minimum standard for success, then we're getting set up for a failure. That means the dropping of standards that is occurring behind the scenes. If we've got people that are turning up that are not ready, then our whole call sign's travelling at the speed of the not ready. And if the not ready is slower than the speed of the minimum of success, everyone gets dragged into that theatre. Ask yourself these questions. Are you ready? Let's get into it. If you don't subscribe right now, there's nothing more I can do. See you on Patreon. Let's get to it. Let's do it now. Hey, Bradley, how you going, mate? I see you about to go into off-ops. That is a very difficult time as part of the infantry continuum. That is where we learn our trade, the seek out and close the enemy, to kill or capture him, to seize and hold ground, or repel attack by day and night, regardless of season, weather, or terrain. So that you can earn 1 DOS Skippy badges. Boom. You just want 1, but it's going to cost you a lot. And I like to think of myself as one of the best instructors that's ever been in the School of Infantry, because I was there for the right reason. And that is to make you a better version of yourself. Now, anyone that's ever worked with me, if you don't believe me, tell me, and we'll refute that point. But guys, tonight is about you asking you questions. I've got all the questions lined out. This is a picture of a lad in the background, lying down in the mud. What's the difference between him and, someone that turns up not prepared? It doesn't matter, because mission failure costs lives. Right. The problem is our government, our military, the ADF, the HR, it's all bullshitting you. It's telling you that you only need to be here. The standards have dropped across the board, where participation is there in front of what used to be gates, which means our actual books are being cooked, and the good soldiers that turn up prepared are being let down by those that turn up with no standards at all. Don't mean to call you out, but Navy and Air Force used to drop the ball really, really badly. I'm seeing Air Force guys getting around here that have got arms that look like a spider's legs. Sleeves rolled up. The only people who deserve sleeves rolled up are people with arms that deserve to be on display. Work them and show them. Why can't the Army have their sleeves rolled up? We used to. We used to be able to. We used to have to watch officers play rugby union while we wore singlets. But then it went to sleeves rolled down, and it doesn't make sense. Get a tattoo, make your arms proud, and get into it. We've got Archie Kerr. He's got his date. He's going for the 26th of August. Mate, call me tomorrow. I need to speak to this boxer, get him good to go. Yesterday, I spoke to a whole bunch of guys that are about to start, or they did start, their platoon today at the School of Infantry. It was great to see them. I've got a lot of faith in the guys that were there, that we are being represented very well by a lot of people. Saw some sorry heads that had been out paying too much for drinks, etc., and almost a negative score for getting the ladies of Newcastle that's a different story. But I'm telling you now, team, they were good lads, right? And today they started. 16 weeks they've got to go now before this could be the rest of their life. Some of them could be Special Forces soon. Some of them could also be VC winners. Who knows what's coming up next? We've got Alan. That was my father's brother's name. He lost him, sadly. We've got PFA tomorrow. You can't fail those. If you fail those, then you deserve for your missus to cheat. We've got the Tassie Devil, loud and clear. Bradley says about to start his off-ops. Yep, awesome. We've got Sammy there, Sammy Davis Jr. We've also got a member who's right now at the hotel getting ready to go to Kapooka tomorrow. So it's happening everywhere. People are getting their dates and it's exciting. Surfing, 14, love your content. Thank you very much. Love your support. Because without your support, what would we be? All right, we'll throw this one out to you right now. Where are we? Sorry, my eyes are almost painted on these days, team. Hardly working at all. This one is for those that are out there that are thinking about subscribing but nervous their name is going to jump up.
Welcome, everyone. Subscribe now to In the Trenches with Cass, and you might win a kiss.
You can give that pixelated lass a kiss, and I'm sure she'll be happy. Tassie Devil, that's off tap, Kaz. What do you mean? Let's go, Kaz. Let's go. Who we got? RZ, Raw New Zealand Media. Guys, we are living in topsy-turvy times. Now, you need to understand that the capabilities, the questions you ask yourself, am I too young? Am I too old? In between. Am I able to go through the rigors of being a military personnel? This is not like the fucking movies. When you go out there, you are an enemy with enemies of the state. You also have no microphone. You are sworn to even if it's logical, even if it makes sense, even if it's intelligent, you have no freedom of speech in the military, and you're governed by two judicial systems, the military and the civilian. As a matter of fact, how weird is it the two people that cannot speak openly on social media are the two people that carry weapons for the protection of the sheep, and that is military and police, not allowed to be able to defend themselves, and it doesn't make sense. Bowerbird prospecting, I put into my third appeal, second being my tattoo waivers. The ADF is about to lose a hard-working, dedicated person right here. I'm sure they are, man. I'll give aviation firefighter a go with my NV1 clearance. Mate, we miss out on a lot of good people. We really do, and what we're seeing, and I'm going to go a little bit into the trenches here. G'day, Dave D. How you going, mate? Question one, why would anyone bother taking your advice? Question one, why would anyone bother taking your advice? Mate, you are clearly bipolar. I look at your questions in comments, and one says, I like you, the other one says you don't. You demand answers. I don't know who you think you are, but you're full of hate, mate. And you wouldn't say it to me face, I'm telling you now. Not an expert. 24 years is not an expert. 4 times instructor, mate. What else do I have to do to appease you in comments, sir? I'll let you keep talking. 24 years plus another 3 for Army Reserve. Mate, you can be yourself, JR, but you know what? What you're doing is putting a spotlight on yourself, mate. How about you give us some advice on life right now? Because I seem to be the one that is giving the advice to assist people and help people get in front. And when I say something that's not correct, let me know. Well, let's get to it. So question one, all right? What we're going to do first, now we'll come back to question one because that is the national standards for people that are going into tomorrow, and that's a BFA, not the PFA. That is the first standard we drop in the military. I do not believe that there should be a fitness test to get into the Army, but there should be a fitness test to get out of Kapooka. I also believe there should be no quitting when you're at Kapooka because we're not an institution that accepts quitters. We're an institution that accepts you to stand on the line. You've said oath or affirmation on the king or on God. You do not want to be breaking your word straight away as soon as you've got into the institution, which has prevented and taken someone else's place from joining behind you. Righto? You stand by what you ask for and what your oath and what your word is. 5 a.m. session today, Kaz. The Canberra weather was not easy on us. It was cold today, my friend. Mr. Buccarini from North, servant of the nation, police, army, okay, and also prison guard. And now he's a YouTuber, he's a father, and he's a great all-rounder Aussie. Absolutely is. Mr. Buckaroon is the soul of the earth. Hey, Ray, how you going, mate? So let's go with the first question, which is actually question 2, which makes it confusing. Bam. Right, I'll lower myself down here. Okay, here we go. Make myself a little bit smaller. That'll make Jay happy so he can see my face. Boom, glasses on. Right, the question I'd asked before this is, how old are you? Ransom. Nice to have you here, Ransom. How old are you? Because some people go in there way too young and some people going way too old. Please be careful. There is too old and there is too young. You know, age is also, what would you say? It's subjective. There is people that are 17, there is a boy, and there are people that come in at 17 that were ready for the trenches of Gallipoli. But there's also people that are 54, like someone we know from the channel, and there's people that are 30 that are too old. You know, don't get this mixed up with Army Reserve. You know, when you were doing this to be able to be scalable and sent overseas abroad on representing of the entire country, you need to be able to travel at the speed of someone under 25, you know, at under 11, 18 with the run, you know, able to match their fitness levels. Because if you can't, then they're all trying to get you through, and that means mission failure. Hey, Kaz, thanks for the vids. Always good info, Sarge. G'day, Scotty. How you going, mate? Some can't put my discharge in after 20 years. The Army has gone to shit. Sammy, you know, part of it has, mate, but guess what? You can keep your franchise looking great, man. If you can, mate, reach out to me. Let's have a conversation, because there's people like Buckaroony and myself that, like yourself, have done over 20 years, and it's important we have conversations to make sure you are in a good place for when you get out for the best half of your life, you know, which is going back and thinking about what you've done in your career that is worthy of being on a podcast, and think about the great things surrounded by your brothers. I appreciate you 20 years, mate. Thumbs up from everyone if we can. For Samo there, for getting his 20 years up. That is equivalent to a Roman legionary's time. It won't be enough for the fella before. He'll complain and say it's not enough, but good on you, mate. Rural Hunter. He's been here forever. 48 months. That's 4 years for those that are missing a thumb but still have 4 fingers. No idea what a shower is. Yeah. Sometimes I smell like the barnacles of a trawler myself, my friend. Thank you very much, mate. And can we get some thumbs up? If you're wondering why he's green and why he's got the rank there, that's because he's a member supporting the channel. Fantastico. Phil says, Phil here, all my documents got submitted. Now I'm in the queue for a phone consultation to book my interview and further assessments. Fantastic. Guys, if you can, the best thing you can personally do is get on Patreon in the description below this video so that you and I can have one-on-one consultations on the bat phone. One-on-one. Danny Lou. G'day, Kaz. Haven't watched you in a fair while. It's okay, mate. Been watching you since I was 17. Now I'm a reservist. Thanks for all your help all this time, mate. Danny. Oh, Danny boy. Make sure you go and have a look on how to be a multi-millionaire as an Army Reservist. You're going to love that video. We've got Mr. Buckaroony thanking another 20-year veteran up the top there with Samo. Ned Kelly, I'm 33 and trying to join Chocos as a sapper. Fantastic. But not signing up until I am fit enough to comfortably do well above the requirements for an 18-year-old because I don't want to be holding anyone back. Mate, absolutely still go for it. Sign up, but use this as the Conor McGregor fight camp to get ready and let that be the inspiration beneath your wings to get you going. Otherwise, you might talk about it forever. Put it in, panic, and get it done. Samo, yes, absolutely, mate. Happy to do that. Samo, Kent, Senior Kent, I can't wait to hear from you, mate, because, mate, the things that I talk to you about, you know, as a fellow brother from the services, mate, I respect everything you've done, and I can't wait to talk to you and give you the little tidbits that you need, if not a shoulder to lean on outside your core, so that you don't feel alone, mate, because it can be very lonely. Salutations, Kaz. G'day, everyone. The lanky wanderer who's about to get in soon himself. So let's go back. Why do I want to join? You've got to be able to ask yourself, why do I want to join the military? And do not bullshit. It is not to defend the country, team. We know there's selfish reasons. It's either to follow the expectation of a grandfather, a relative. It can be because you've had enough of today's society. It can be Donald Trump. I'll have to talk to him after. It could be because you want a sense of purpose. You feel like you're slipping. You feel like you don't belong in this society. It could be because you want the mateship. It could be because you're running from a relationship. I hope it's not with a child. And what I mean by that is a father. Is it for pride? And I mean like lion pride, not the rainbow flag. Is it for a career, that you do this for the rest of your life, financial stability, adventure, or because you don't know what else to do? Be brutally honest with yourself. Do not lie, because no one's going to judge you for the reason why. They just want to know, but you need to know why. You need to know why. Scotty Reed, how you going? Caliber 77, Scotty Reed. Love Sharma 32 here, in process to join Officer Reserves. To you, mate. Now, why do officers get swords but not a horse? It doesn't make sense to me. So ask yourself, why do I want to join? If you need help with that, give me a call. Get on Patreon and call me. Next question. Let's pump through these because it's important, right, that we keep some momentum here to keep you interested. Am I ready for the discipline and structure? I'd say a lot of people aren't. To star on Pineapple Express, Dave D, you were the main actor. Tassie Devil, Hitler thought he was a Knights Templar until he lost the plot. Yep, and maybe he was until he lost the plot. Maybe he was. Am I ready for the discipline and structure? Can you handle early morning, strict rules, chain of command, being told what to do every day? If you have a personality disorder and you cannot handle being told what to do, and that's normally officers, right, then you've got to get ready, because when you go to Kapuka, what makes Kapuka hard is the fact that you are working from 6 in the morning till from 10 at night till 6 in the morning, every day, no phone unless you deserve it. And that's going to happen time and time and time until you are doing, you could say, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 3 months. Longer if you actually have a fail point and you get back squatted through injury, trainability, whatever it may be. Am I ready for discipline structure? It is not easy. It also means that you never have a late day in your entire career. It also means that you can take a kick in the ass, put your arms by your side, shut your fucking mouth, and understand you're being spoken to, not spoken with. You're not part of a conversation. You're being told, and you may not have a chance to be able to turn around and say, you got the wrong end of the stick here. So be careful with that. Can you handle early mornings? There's no such thing as I'm not an early morning person. You better be ready to operate like that. From day dot. You've got to curb that behaviour. The Army is going to get rid of straight away your lack of sense of urgency. And the first thing they do is take doonas off you and give you blankets. So you feel like you're not at Kansas. Kick those red shoes together, call them blisters, you're not going home. Unless you quit, and we don't like quitters. Chain of command. You can't talk bad about the chain of command behind their back. If you get caught, that is a charge. You can't talk about the king. That is a charge. Be careful getting caught talking out of shop. All right, let's go to the next question. A lot of people can't, especially this generation, cannot handle being told what to do even by their own goddamn parents. I am a parent. I know what we're talking about. Next one. Bam, question 3. Can I handle being away from family or friends for long periods? Remember, some of you guys and gals don't realise that you're still a boy, you're still a girl, you're not a man, you're not a woman yet. You might be, as far as human development, but when you're missing home, just remember, you may never be going home again other than holidays. I told the story the other day. I left at 19 years old from mum and dad, and I didn't realise while I was carrying out all these fantastic experiences, mum, all she was getting was a memory that her son has gone forever and doesn't know when he's coming back, and I haven't been back other than on holidays, weekends to cooking garlic prawns. So if you miss your mum and dad and you miss your dog, just remember you signed up, you're a volunteer, you're not a conscript. Get over it. And because I bet you they miss you more than you miss them. It's a sacrifice. It also means your kids. It also means your missus. It also means your mister, whatever it is. Write them letters. Letters you can keep. Make them smell good. Or put fart spray on them if you don't like them and they owe you money. But I've been away from your missus wondering, oh shit, is she playing up now? Don't know. If she is, I hope she's happy. Anyway. So, can I handle being away from friends? You'll get used to it real quick. It's called maturity. It doesn't mean it doesn't suck. You don't have to show it. Next one. This is a big one. How I cope under extreme stress. The way you cope, g'day Cassie, how you going, mate? The way you handle stress will determine how the rest of the call sign goes. When you go on operations, you're going to be overseas sometimes for 6 months, sometimes longer. Or you can't be taking it out on your goddamn team. This is you. Handle it. Push it down. Have someone that you can speak to. Yep. You reckon the Sarge doesn't miss his kids? Doesn't miss his missus? Might miss someone else's missus. Soldiering demands mental toughness, operating in combat zones, making life and death decisions and functioning with little sleep. Every single night, you will get up at a time that you don't choose, where you have to do up to a 4-hour picket on a machine gun, in the rain, in the heat. You know, while there's also people out there that might be looking for you that want to do the devil's work to your neck. Right? Remember that. You don't have a choice. There is no bad mood time. You know, those hands can come up real quick overseas if you push the wrong buttons. You know, and there's no one dobbing. You know, cop an ass kicking and you deserve it. Take the beating. Soldiering demands mental toughness. Absolutely. When we're carrying our packs, remember, fitness is not to do with how many push-ups you can do, how fast you can run. Okay, Bucko would know this. It's how long you can carry your pack. You know, how fast you can fire and move while still using your weapon system. How long can you operate in the field with minimum food? You know, a lot of time with people that strip off all of that fat, you know, because they want to look good from the gym, what that means is you don't have the fat reserves to help you through the hard times when you're out in the field in adverse conditions and it's cold and you shiver like a dog shitting or a woman's legs after Kaz has made her happy, which has been a while between drinks. Guys, you may not know what actual stress is until you're actually in a uniform, and it can be the fact that you can't complain about it, that you're under extreme pressure, that you're always sore, which is not the same as being injured. And no one cares because they're all going through the same shit at the same time. Don't go for the spear point if you're not ready to take the horns. Sounds like a t-shirt right there. Okay? If you lose a soldier, you can't all be sitting around goddamn crying either. You need to get the job done. When someone gets wounded, you don't rush over there and help them. There's people to do that. You get on with the job, you clear the enemy, you make the area secure, you get the job done. Got blood on your hands? You know, seeing shit you don't like? Doesn't matter. You got to hook in, because if you're the fail point, the break point, you could be the reason why your entire call sign fails and no one comes home alive. You got to grow the fuck up. You got to do it fast, just like paramedics do. They don't get to tap out. They don't get to cry on the side of the road. Does it happen? I bet it does sometimes, but I bet it doesn't happen in front of you. Casey says, what advice would you give to relatively new recruits of finding the job lacking in mental challenge? Well, that all comes down to what we go for, Cass. You know, and this is an excellent question for what we're asking tonight. When you go for a career and you make a choice that you want to go for infantry or want to go to storeman, understand there is a massive difference. If you go for storeman, you're not going to be playing around with weapons. You're not going to have the excitement that comes with a lot of the roles that come back with a combat role unless you're attached to a combat unit as part of a combat call sign. So you're going to get all of the benefits that come with different things. If you want to eat beautiful, hot, cheesy, melted salami jaffles, go to cavalry. If you want a sore back, compressed spine, but say that you're on the cold point and you can hold ground, and go to infantry. If you want maximum amount of fun, adventure, and hardship as a team basis, you know, with the minimum amount of paperwork other than toilet paper, but even paperwork's starting to get in there now. We should have a clerk for every single platoon. We should have. If we don't, it's a felony. Scotty reads, stay single or at least don't take a woman seriously till you're 30. I agree with that. And she is at least 27 or 28. I'd say 24. From experience, most women want to know straight up, you won't be home 6 months of the year. Absolutely. Look, the guys go out to nightclubs now, paying $13, $14 for a drink just to go to a bar, to be treated like shit by a bouncer, then get inside, pay the money, and then get shamed by the girls who think they don't want them. They're desperately crying in their pillows because they can't meet someone, while they sit on phones and take photos of food. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. There are 3 things that are going to bring down first world countries. One, okay, is feminism. The other one is socialism. And the other one, sadly, is Islam. They're the 3 things. You know, willing to debate any one of those topics. Let's go on to the next one. How do I cope under stress? Sometimes you've got to put a hand on someone's shoulder and ask, you okay, buddy? Let them have a little bit of a tear up, okay? And then tell them it's okay. Putting a grounding hand on someone's shoulder when you actually say, you okay, buddy? And I don't mean that gay shit. Are you okay? If you're going to do it, mean it. Come up there, give them a bit of a rough hug. Hey, buddy, you all right? Let's go grab a fucking coffee. You take someone for a walk, have a cup of coffee with them, you might have saved their life, believe me. Get them away from the alcohol. These days, guys, if you're drinking more than 1 day a week, forget it. Get rid of it. I can tell you now from someone that used to drink 4 days a week, man, it is not good for you. It'll take everything from you. Thoughts on immigrants in Australia? Australia is made by immigrants. I love immigrants, but we have cultures that are not assimilating. We have cultures that want something from us that will not give back. If we're going to have cultures, team, that do not take immigrants from Australia, they should definitely not be allowed to immigrate to Australia. Reciprocal immigration rules. That is common sense. What are your thoughts? Next one. Am I physically prepared? I don't mean PFA. That is bullshit. You can't get someone pregnant with PFA energy. You need BFA energy, which brings us back down to bam, question 1. There. Let's go to question 6 again, and we'll just put the kibosh on that for a sec. Are you physically prepared? We talked about it before. Now, when you go in and do a PFA, that's to get you through the door, and it's bullshitting to you. This is the BFA, which again is the basic fitness assessment. If you fail this once, then you have 30 days to do it again. You fail it again, then you're looking at an administration discharge of up to 90 days. Get out. Lose your job. The problem is there is such a difference, a double standard between males and females, that the female standard is so low that if a male, If a male achieved a female standard, he'd be kicked out of the military for incompetence. Now, you can't have those double standards, but then put them in the same place, wear the same uniform. I'll give you an example. We've got people that are allowing females to go to the School of Infantry that are 17 years and older, that is betraying their patriotism, their self-respect, their parents' trust that the Army's got their right welfare at the forefront of capability. Always put it into capability. Because every single person in the infantry needs to be able to carry the Mike 240 Golf, which is also known as the Mag 58, with 800 rounds. Now, that's over 24 kilograms, not including the protective ensemble of the body armour, as well as water, as well as the pack, as well as your helmet, your night vision equipment, all of that shit. Now, that's coming out over 50 kilos. If you reckon there's a 17-year-old girl slinging that around at the same speed as what a man can, forget it. They can't. And I've seen it. But standards drop, and they look the other way, and they allow them through. And who does that hurt? It hurts the organisation. But guess who it hurts the most? That young lady. Because they've told her she can do it. Charlie's Angels don't exist in reality. And then when they go in there and they fail, then you've set someone up for what could have been a career. And they've been lied to. Lied to. And these girls deserve better. I'm not here to hate on them. I'm here to help them. I'm here to tell you that it is a travesty how we're treating and lying to some of our people, saying they're good when they're not. Train hard and keep training realistic, and you'll perform under pressure. People, trust me, absolutely, you can do it. Is there a 2-minute cap on BFA push-ups? Yes, there is. Scotty Reid, I have to do dad duties and put little Joey to bed. Thanks, Kaz. Always a pleasure to hear good ADF advice. Scotty Reid, great to have you here, my man. We've got Ked Nelly here, but I don't know how I would react to actual combat, if you know what I mean. And I don't think anyone does until they do, mate. Sammy, Australians should be having kids ourselves. Absolutely, Sammy. And there is nothing better than having children, mate. It is the best thing to have something that you could die for or would die for. Yep. So, guys, that is the fitness test. But the real fitness test is, how do you handle the machine gun? How do you handle 6 months? You don't know you've had a successful career until the career is over, and then you look back and say, now that's a podcast right there. Bam. Okay, let's get rid of that one, because we could talk about that all day, and we have in the past. So, fitness isn't optional. It's survival. You're willing to push yourself to reach and maintain the physical standards required. Infantry standard. It is brutal. Remember, when we do an attack, it starts off with a preparatory stage, okay? Which means not only do you have to be psychologically in tune, ready to put a bayonet into someone at the other end of that postcode, which is less than 100 metres away, but you need to be able to do that with shock, with surprise, with aggression. There is no running away. There is no backing out. There is no giving up, right? So when you close that distance and you get to the assault and then you're working together towards that objective because your ammunition is limited, you run out of ammunition, that's like running out of energy in the octagon, you're going to get your ass kicked. You're going to get it handed to you. You can't just suddenly turn around and run backwards because you run out of ammo. You're dead or captured. Welcome to slavery. Right. But after the assault, what happens is you have an exploitation stage where now you're crawling on your guts, getting close enough, and then you still got to have the energy in your arm to be able to, from the lying position or kneeling position while covering an enemy location, to be able to throw a grenade 455 grams up to 15 metres away to take out the enemy, then storm him and use your fighting knife, using your skills, using your aggression, your teeth, to take the guy out. And there might be 2 or 3 of them in that pit and you're going to do it all yourself. And then at the end of that, you've got to look after casualties once you've done your reorg, be able to go and do pack parties, and then rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. You don't get to come home after one successful jaunt. Ask the commandos, ask the Royal Australian Regiment, ask Cav what it feels like to be in an armoured vehicle and it's over 65 degrees. Yeah, I was just curious. It should be a problem. Phil, how high should I aim for the PFA test? As fast as you possibly can. Mr. Dino, I suggest training in martial arts. I suggest MMA, but boxing or Muay Thai. It's good for flexibility too. It's good also. You'll learn a little about how you handle stressful situations. Yep, and you'll also learn how to remain calm. Remain calm. Dave, fitness is what allows you to keep thinking when you're smashed. Absolutely. When you see an officer, and he's just got white noise going through his mind thinking, what am I going to do? I've got to have the answers. I can never get it wrong. I'm the head of this franchise. I am, Nathan Cleary in the 75th minute of the game. You've got to come up with that play. I was speaking to someone who's about to be an officer today. It was an absolute pleasure to go and see him and spend that time with him as he's getting ready. And this guy is as fit as they come, strong as they come, focused as they come. But he admitted today that he's shitting himself because he cares what people think and he wants to be the best officer and he wants to stay there as long as possible without promotion because he's joining to lead, not for just for political standing. Bam, next one, Kaz. Archie. Kaz, going back to fitness, are you saying if you aren't getting over base of BFA before Kapuka, you're stuffed, or can you fill the gap at Kapuka? You may not be able to fill it at Kapuka, but what you're going to do is learn the hard way through training when you get the IETs. Wait a sec. K-Dog, F45 is good training too. Be as fit as you can, but yep, there's Kaz, nice to catch up. Quacky D, there he is. Good on you, mate. I think I know who I'm talking to right there. Carl P, g'day Kaz and team. G'day Carl P. He's got the spanner there. One of my favourite people in the world. Met on the phone, met in real life. Now we're almost best friends and brothers. Matto H, RMC graduation tomorrow for over 100 new officers fit enough. Officers are not fit enough. They've got the lowest standard in the Army when it comes to how much they're allowed to carry on during RMC. That is a travesty because those guys that go from there to the ROBC, it's all about to change. But to all those guys, absolutely. All the best. Have you thought deeply about what it means for you and your family? Okay, can I live with the possibility of combat? Remember, as an infantry soldier, who I'm looking for, is someone that is support corps. My dream, my KFC would be to come across a transport convoy, to come across a signals squadron, to come across engineers, cut through them like butter. That would be our dream. Everyone has to be ready to fight in a combat environment. We used to have 2 weeks every year that every corps had to go and do infantry minor tactics. They don't do that anymore. And if they do, at such a low level, it's probably not worth it. Guys and gals, you need to understand skill at arms. Use the weapon systems, not just the wets. Get into it and understand the recoil of a weapon system, how to do IAs, on the move, so that you're good to go. I know some of this sounds tough, guys. Can I possibly, can I live with combat? Okay, you will. And if someone asks you during a psych interview, hey, what do you think about the idea of having to take someone's life? Then you simply say to them, I understand by then, it's him laying on the ground right there, or it's me, or one of my brothers. I understand by there, I've been trained, I have orders, I understand that he's the bad guy, I'm the good guy, in this picture anyway. Yeah, and I'm going to have no problem. I'm not going to have an emotional connection to the action that I'm about to fulfill, which is a smooth muscle memory to take that guy out of his family reunion fucking photos, because if I don't, it's me instead. Get this lifetime once. Breathe through your balls. Eating KFC as I watch your Kaz. Nice legs right there. Breathe through your balls. Quacky D, KFC, Macca's. That's it. Get it into you. Quacky, you haven't got it much longer before you've got to eat officer food. Tacos. Righto? Guys and gals, I had no idea what I was going into with Rwanda. That was my first operation. And I'll tell you now, when I walked into Shit Alley, and this is after already picking up bodies, children, everything. I thought it couldn't get any worse until I walked through Shit Alley. There was nothing in there but crap on the ground. And then I walked into a building and I got told, be careful before you go in there. It's about to change your goddamn life. And all this was in a religious environment. And when I walked through that, I'll take my glasses off for emphasis here. When I walked into that room and I saw the entire ground was red and deep, and man, there was buckets, were parts of people, and there was people laying face up, face down, and we ended up with this crap all over us, right? I didn't expect that day. I thought I'd seen the worst, and it was pissing down rain. And I can tell you, God wasn't there that day. He wasn't there. I've written a poem about it for those that haven't heard it. It's heartbreaking, and it changed my life forever. But what it also told me was that this life is precious. Your life is precious. You've got to make it count. You've got to do the work when no one's watching, because when God's not watching, your future's watching, and one day it's going to ask all the necessary questions, and if you're not ready, you're not ready. And someone else, as well as yourself, is going to suffer as a result. Always think, do I have the fitness at the moment to do a stretcher carry to carry my friend out of harm's way? If the answer is no, get the fuck outside and start working on it. This is not about gym muscles. This is about having a reportable, recordable ability to do your job, to do functional fitness, to be able to operate at a level for a prolonged period of time, or until you fail. Paramedics know all about that. So do police, so do fire brigade, so do SES. When it comes to doing CPR on someone until someone comes and says they're gone, son. Yep. You never want it to be because of your lack of ability. You never want to be at the back of a call sign that's getting told, no, turn around, because that guy, that girl is not up to scratch. Someone else carrying your gear. We don't do that either. Don't go to war to die for your country. You go to make the other bloke die for his or her. What are ration packs like, mate? My ass has got PTSD from the ration pack. Or make your life a more than fair trade, make it worth something. Samuel, SS, I like that. You don't know what's ahead of your team. But what you don't want ahead of you is fail. Next one, question 8. Am I comfortable moving around the country or the world? Right? You're going to go to other cultures, team. People can see bias. They can see judgmental on your face. Let me tell you. Once you've been in the military, to that Jay, the guy that was up there speaking shit before, I don't know where he's been. He might not have been further north than Bali. But I've lived in Africa. I've lived in Egypt. I was an Egyptian citizen in the Middle East. And I saw these cultures. And I can tell you, when I was over in Israel, the two nicest people that I knew were the Arabs and also the Israelis. So if you don't think I'm more confused now, I'm confused. Yeah. Lovely, lovely people, both, right? And they will get along well as well. My barber used to have a cutthroat razor and shave me neck all the time. No problems. When you travel around, you're also going to see people in different parts of the world you look at and go, that culture, does not deserve the spit in my mouth. But you're not allowed to say it these days, unless you're every other colour except for white, and we all know that. Mr. Buckaroony, I had to carry a dead body out of the jungle once on a stretcher. Oh, it was friggin' hard work. I'll never forget that. Bucko, how is it they get heavier? I don't understand. They get heavier. It's out of control. Moving around the world, going overseas. There is nothing scarier than having, a passport with Israel in it as one of your two passports. You might grab the wrong one and push it across in an Arab nation that you've got Israel stamped in your passport. Does that matter? Absolutely. If you've got an Islam country in your passport and you go into Israel, it means nothing. That's another one for you to take away. That's another one for you to take away. So go there, embrace other cultures, love it, but come back with lessons and understand the reality and the knowledge of the world doesn't come from going to university. It comes from being in the postcodes around the world and seeing the people, hearing them, smelling them. And I tell you what, even when I went to India as a civilian, every one of the myths that I had about India changed, right? I came back sick as hell, but everything I thought about India was incorrect. I come back with biases that I didn't have, and I came back with fondness that I didn't have before I went over. Yep. Immerse yourself in other cultures and you will be rich for life. What career do I want? This is where you can't lie to yourself, team. Do not lie to yourself. Don't tell us that you want to go to special forces, right, and then quit, when you get through Kapuka. Right? Understand that the corps you go to will attract you around birds of a feather. If you want to go to engineers, it's because you want to work with the tools. You want to be like a tradie around guys, have adventure, mateship, some robust camaraderie, right? And be at the sharp end and know what it's like to be one of the hardest working people, I believe, in the military outside Ramey. Ramey and engineers, I reckon, are the two hardest workers. I do. Infantry, we work hard, but work in spurts. Oh, that's what she said, right? So look at the sort of people that go to infantry. If they're the sort of people you want to be around, like a footy team all the time, go to infantry. If that's not enough for you, or it gets a bit immature, then go to special forces. Yeah, or try. Now, if you want to be around technical and have other roles after Army that are to do with that, then do that. But what you go to will determine the sort of people, the sort of lifestyle, and the amount of adventure or amount of comfort that you're either giving away or attaining. But we're not all one Army team. We're not. Okay? When I watch the movie, I'm infantry all the way. I don't go and watch Gladiator and then get excited when I see the guy who's riding, the wagon. The guy with the anvil, the blacksmith. Couldn't give a shit. Righto? That's not me. I'm infantry, so I went to infantry. I was Corps enlisted to Op 6, funny enough, and I said, this is not me. ADHD, I need more. I'm going to infantry, never regretted it. Absolutely loved it. What did it give me when I got out? Shitloads. It gave you human skills. It gave me adventure. It gave me stories. It put me on podcasts. It gave me the ability to know exactly who I am. Am I happy with what I see? Not all the time. I came out with warts and warts, but I fulfilled, and everything I asked for, I got. Matty, it's hard for young people to know what they really want in the Army until they get there and get a good feel. Absolutely. I agree, Matty. I do agree with that. If you want the best job, go to CAV. I reckon CAV is probably pretty close to the best job in the Army now. I'd like to do cyber, but every role is full. Okay, gravy. That's you. You want to go to cyber. To me, that would be a fate worse than death. I could not handle being sedentary like that with my ADHD in a building like that. It'd drive me insane, but that's you, and I need you to be there. Let me quickly explain something. I've explained this to people before. We're ready. What career do you want? But every single corps that is in the Australian Army, Air Force, Navy, do we need them? Of course we do. Of course we do. But picture every single one of these people from every single corps is an Olympian that gets on a plane to go to the Olympic Games. What country? What country do you reckon, Bucko? Let's say Barcelona. We'll go back to Spain. Australia needs you all there, whether you're a kayaker, whether you're a boxer, whether you're equestrian, okay, whether you're a soccer player. We need you there to win the gold. But when you get on the plane, you've got absolutely nothing in common with the other people that play other the sports, other than the fact that you have the drive for perfection in your field. But you don't get in, the guy that's boxing doesn't look like the guy who's going in the marathon, who's going to come last because he was white. I hate to tell him in advance. Anyway, so when you actually get to the military and you finish Kapuka, and Kapuka is the Olympic plane that's flying there for the Barcelona Games, understand that when you get out of Kapuka and you get on the bus to go to the School of Infantry, then it's all boxers. Then it's all equestrian. Then it's all fencers. Then it's all soccer players, and you will suddenly feel like, I am home. Or, scary, you might have lied to yourself, and now you're thinking, oh, I don't really belong here. What am I going to do? What the fuck am I going to do now? Because you can't just back out. You can't quit. Once you get to your IET school, your initial employment training school, you've got to see it through. And if you want a core transfer, then you have to finish it a lot of the time to show that whoever's getting you is getting a successful applicant. So know what you want. When in doubt, that's why I have this team. That's why I spend hours and hours a day trying to prepare you. When you say we don't know, then get on the Patreon and let's find out. I am an expert. Back in those days, Kaz, Ops 6 did 25 words per minute Morse code. Yeah, I was 12 words already Morse code with Army Reserve. Radio Ops did 15 words a minute, receive and transmit. Yep. It's the SIG renaissance now, Buck, with EW and anti-drone. And I would hate every bit of that, which is fine, but I want the person that goes there to love it. And I won't judge them on the qualities that they don't have, but it's everyone's job to be fit enough to carry each other off the battlefield. Judah, in week 9 at Singo at the moment, but being downgraded for a while due to stress fractures. Judah, I'm sorry to hear that, mate. I am sorry to hear that. Judah, I think you're already on the Patreon. If you're not, get on there and let me help you through. And maybe in a couple of weekends from now, I'll be driving you down to Newcastle, along with one of my family friends that's there right now that started his platoon today. What, do you want it? Okay, military or civilian. If you get in, team, are you joining for 4 years or are you joining forever? Let me tell you something. There's a lot of people going to university right now. They've got HEX bills that their job won't even exist by the time they've paid that off. Won't even exist. The AI revolution is here, and being in the military, be it Army Reserve or be it regular Army, that is where the current is flowing, and if you go there, I don't believe you'll have any regrets. It's going to tick off all the boxes of modern loneliness, all the boxes of stability, all the boxes of a sense of worth, mission command over your life, and also a sense of achievement. Don't go somewhere and work for the rest of your life just so one day you own a house, but by the time you pay it off, there's not a home, there's not a chick there, there's not kids there. You're on your third relationship, you're bringing up someone else's kids and thinking, what the hell happened with my life? I brushed my teeth, I deserve better. Right, next one. Can I work as part of a team, even with people I don't like? That is very important. Kaz, why is the bat phone no longer red? It's just I've changed the case. I've just changed the case. Now it's more bat phone. Look at it, it's black. If you can say that without being racist. Hex step isn't the path. No, it's not. And now one of the most common roles that people are falling out of to come to the military and getting on the bat phone is people that go to university and then got told this is not the droid you're looking for once they got there. And that's sad. It is sad because they went there and didn't realise the politics that's involved. Now, for those that see it through, I really wish you well, but I don't know how many careers are still going to be there soon. I don't. And you're going to find out, sadly, the hard way for a lot of them, yeah. So can you work as part of a team? There's a lot of people that cannot work as part of a team. Yeah. There's a lot of people that have victim mentality, that think they're being yelled at because it's personal, that can't take accountability for their actions, that don't blame themselves for what just occurred, that can't see that it was their fault, right? That are offended by others, that can't keep their mouth shut, that name names. We don't name names in the Army team. That's why I got very angry about the Ben Robert-Smith situation. Did he make some stuff up? Yes, he did. Yes, he did when he kept biting back at the machine that was coming after him, the media machine. Not what happened overseas. I've got no problem with that, because I don't know. But what I will tell you is I don't like people naming names on people, because what we're seeing is the organisation is permanently then tarnished. That should have been done in a court-martial, where all of the information was on the table. You don't go and then hear something, have some fun one night, and then all of a sudden start making accusations because you didn't like the way things panned out. Now, there's certain things that are actual crimes. I get that. That's different. But don't be just a sensitive individual and make an entire organisation, the army, about you. You're about them. Yeah. Nopes, there you go, mate. G'day, Kaz. Currently at Kapuka. Wanted to say thanks for your videos. Big help for going into Kapuka. Mate, don't tell me what platoon you are, but to your platoon, I know you don't accept salutes, but it won't be long before you're going to the home of the fallen soldier, the Campbell War Memorial, where you'll be going to see where we go, when times are bad. For those that don't come home, you'll get to choose who you sit beside on the bus. You'll be able to choose who you have a coffee with, who you walk around with, where all of a sudden the energy is going to come down. You're going to be sitting in a beautiful bus, warm, with no expectation other than to do the right thing, and have the sun rays coming through the light and allow you to absorb, what's going on. Heard it, it's bad at RMC. Is that true? No, not necessarily, mate. Politics-wise, absolutely, because RMC can be a whole bunch of narcissistic people, that turn up, that think they're leaders when in actual fact they've just got a personality disorder. What you need to do is show that you stand outside that and you're there to be a leader. Right? RMC, when you've got people that are quitting, they were never a leader. When you've got people that are failing fitness tests, they were never a leader. When you've got people falling out of things, they were never a leader. Remember, you joined them, they didn't join you. Absolutely, KP, because you'll come and put that spanner up people's ass until it's fit. Breathe through your balls. I was going to go officer, but I realised I wanted infantry, even if the pay is less. Breathe through your balls. It's not how much you get paid, it's what you do with the money, sir. It's what you do with the money. It was an incredible experience at the War Memorial. Loved every second of it. Yep, absolutely. I hope you've loved every second of this stream that we've organised for your pleasure and for hers. But human mechanics is one of the biggest things you need in the military, because everything about the army, be an officer, every corps is about people. We are the number one most important tool and the most important weapon that every one of you has, whether you're a private, whether you're a sergeant, whether you're a warrant officer, or whether you're an officer, is your brain. Your brain is your number one weapon, because you should be able to defeat that enemy or that mission before you actually get to the point where you close with them. Mr. Dino, does the cavalry have a lot of the same training as infantrymen? It does have a lot of the same, but also completely different. Right? Their vehicle, and naturally there's mechanised and motorised infantry as well. They just got to get their vehicles. But I believe at the moment, Dino, the guy 3 from you, KP above you, that's the guy I want you to be able to talk to, because through KP, we might be able to reach out and get someone to talk to you and find out about that unit, the information you need to know. Infantry and cavalry are different. They are different, mate. But you and I can have a talk about over that on the phone, and you're going to love it. Because if I wasn't infantry, I'd be cav, I tell you now. Right, we've got one more, I believe. Bam. Am I prepared for the cost and the rewards? There's a lot of rewards for being in the military. I don't even know how to list them, even though I've listed things tonight. The mateship and the friendships, fantastic. I'm having reunions 30 years later, getting hugged by brigade commanders at the Australian in Townsville. Having financial problems, but also allowed me to financially reset. Every one of my problems, I had a little bit of mechanic in and fucked it myself. Having family, having the girls, having the experiences, having the travel, being in helos, firing machine guns, being told by girls, can you leave the gun oil on your hands when you hold my hand? Can you leave your boots on tonight? When you shake someone's hand, whether they be a politician, whether they be a businessman, whether they be a sportsman, and then when they ask, what do you do? And you let them know that you're in the Australian Army, when you shake their hand and look in their eye, and they realise What's more important? Okay, a medal from the Olympics or a medal from representing your country in harm's way, following the footsteps of the Anzacs? I know which one I reckon is a bigger deal. Yeah? Guys and gals, there is so many things it's given me. But the thing that's given me the biggest gift that the Army gave me was an appreciation of my life. I'm still here. A lot of soldiers aren't. More than 103,000 lost their lives, and a lot of them never came home. But what you get, you cannot quantify. When you sit on a podcast and you realise your time is done and you look in the eyes of someone who's following you, that's just gone to Kapuka, that's at Singleton, that's about to march out of RMC, their pages are still turning. We've got to be there to help them, to put a hand on their shoulder, to celebrate the sacrifice they may have to do in the future, understanding like this photo behind me, that they might be the guy that's giving medical care to someone they know is gone. They could be the guy on the ground who gave everything, who's looking up at the stars, just wants you to say hello to his mum and say it's okay. All right? Where do you thank a paramedic enough? What about the cop, who has to put up with bullshit every day but will still come and save your life? The military. Every single person in the military, regardless of how many medals are on their chest, have got stories of where they failed, but also where they triumphed, on how it's changed their life, how they could have still been in Stockton, how they still could have been in Ipswich, but they didn't. They signed a piece of paper. They got on with others. They looked at each other's differences and they actually had real tolerance, unlike the LGBT and trans community. What they did is they reached out a hand to someone that they didn't like and said, it's okay, mate, I'll make your bed for you or with you, because at the end of the day, we're sleeping under the same stars, and tomorrow, when I'm asleep, and you're on picket, I have to know that I can trust you to have my back. Righto? We have our wins and we have our losses together. Go in, be prepared, and remember that when you make your losses, it better be because it was unavoidable. No matter what you could have done, it was always going to happen, and it's not because you're the human point of failure. Guys, I am an expert in this field, and I've failed in a lot of things. But I can tell you what, I'm one of the only people I know have ever known that's willing to come and do this day after day for you for 10 years. And I'm doing that now, and I've had my time. But now I'm celebrating your time through you. Phil says his preferred battalion was 6 RAR since it's based in Brisbane. But then I heard 1 RAR was the most grittiest battalion of them all. As soon as I heard that, changed my mind instantly. Your thoughts on 1 RAR? I love the big blue one. So does she. So does she. 1 RAR is a fantastic battalion. It's the oldest battalion of the Royal Australian Regiment. And every battalion needs good people. But so does Townsville. Townsville's a fantastic place. It is. Just don't go to the suburbs. Yeah. Goldtrack says, what's the percentage of 40-year-olds joining infantry full-time? Goldtrack, I'd say none. I don't think I've ever had a 40-year-old come and join infantry, and I wouldn't recommend it, mate. I wouldn't recommend it. When in doubt, bam, get on the bat phone, give me a call. It's in the remarks below, in the description below. Come there, we'll have a talk, and I'll tell you why. All right? You're joining them, they're not joining you. You might be fit now, but how much time have you got left before the mould is on the bread? Army Reserve, it's fine, 40. Regular Army, not so much. It's not just physical either, mate. Because what's the difference in difficulty for officer entry compared to general entry? Completely different thing, mate. An officer selection board, gets carried by those that are going to be officers, and all they need is proof that sometime in their life that they had leadership experience, whether it be school captain, whether it be sports team captain, whether it be their articulation of information, etc. It's what happens when they get to RMC that determines whether they were there as a personality disorder or whether they were there for actual leadership. And I've met some fucking great officers, and I've been goddamn lucky to know them. How important is strength? Actual strength is very important. That's why I say, ladies, just don't cut it. Would incorporating movement like barbell squats, deadlifts, and military press, anything to do with 40-minute CrossFit circuits is fantastic, but nothing replicates the time in the field, okay? I think that AFL, funny enough, is one of the best things because they're normally wearing clothes that don't match the weather for a prolonged period of time, under under stress, under physical exhaustion, but still have to operate under pressure against another team. Guys and gals, that's an hour. Let's get out of here. Mucho respecto to all of you. And I don't know if you're still here, Carl, but this is what it was about tonight, just so you're aware. And then we'll throw you a quick kiss. This one's for Carl.
Welcome, everyone. Subscribe now to In the Trenches with Cass, and you might win a kiss.
She's not my type. She's not my type, but she might be yours. Subscribe right now, team. Right, guys and gals, this is about you. Don't fool around. You know, the Army needs the best people. We can't be having 17-year-old girls joining infantry. You know, we can't have fat people that are joining at the bare minimum standard. This is the military. This is the winning and last frontier when politicians fail and Anzacs have to step up and potentially pay the price of the mistakes made by our actual politicians. They won't accept it. They don't take responsibility for it. When they fail, we step up. And when we step up, sadly, it means letters are coming home. Thanks, Kaz. 1.5 pages of notes tonight. Sam, you don't have to do that. Just give me a call. Patreon's always waiting for his team. Always waiting for you. Take it easy. It was my pleasure to be here tonight, and I hope he's appreciated it. And to that fella in the background, I hope he comes home safe, but I wouldn't want my leg at the angle that he has. So, guys, for those that are serving right now and those that are about to serve, bless you in advance. Not Sue Cow, and they shall grow not old, as we the left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. And at the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them, for those that have fallen.